As soon as I opened the door, it hit me. My 180-pound, 48-year-old brother collapsed in a pool of his own urine. "For God's sake, Mark, wake up!" I shouted in a voice that almost didn't sound like my own. My older brother, part of one of this country's best SWAT teams, was just an hour later all wrapped up in an adult diaper. As a young nurse shoved a 16-inch catheter down his pee hole to stop him from dribbling those 10 pathetic drops of pee on the white sheets. I couldn't believe my eyes that the one we all saw as a rock in this family was lying helplessly in a cold-lit ICU room. I was furious at myself for not noticing sooner his harmless prostate problems. Furious at his soon-to-be ex-wife because she didn't tell us any of the symptoms he was hiding from me, and that she kept his shame hidden from us. And furious at the doctor who prescribed him the darn standard medicine in the first place. Medicine which, instead of healing and shrinking his ballooning prostate, actually swollen it 5 times the normal size. He trusted not one, but 3 specialists who all assured him that he'll be fine and brushed off any of his concerns without a second thought. But as bleak as this sounds, I am telling you this because if you are a man who's already into his gray-haired years, you are 93% more likely to suffer from prostate issues. So at this point, it's no longer a question if your prostate will balloon in the future to the point where it could pop any minute, but it's a question of when it will hit. But here's what I can tell you in the next minutes if you stay on this video. The 2 popular prostate treatment drugs that pharmaceutical companies want you to guzzle down, despite Harvard clearly pointing out that they put you on the list for imminent prostate total failure and other deadly diseases. How one CDC report shows that 93% of men will have prostate issues. The 3 inflamed prostate warning signs that you should never, ever ignore if you're over the age of 45. Hint, one of them will probably show itself in the bedroom tonight. The $1.63 a day prostate miracle protocol that one Doctor of the Year winner can't stop talking about. Honestly, the only reason you're even hearing about this nightmare story is that it also led to the revelation of a simple yet powerful prostate healing discovery that put me on Big Pharma's hit list. This is the 3rd time I have uploaded the following presentation, and they always take it down and try to hide my expose on their shifty practices and criminal activity. And it really makes no sense that people who claim that they want to help you would actually try to suppress this important video that helped over 17,856 men all across the U.S. save their lives and dignity. People like Jason S. from Boston, who says, "I've been having problems taking a leak for weeks. I was desperate to go every 15 minutes. And each time I felt like if I didn't go right that second, I would end up wetting myself. But I swear that every time I did go, all that came out was a stop and start dribble. The feeling of an empty bladder seemed like such a distant memory for me. I was always playing bathroom detective, constantly on the lookout for the nearest bathroom wherever I was. And within just 3 short weeks, it had gotten so bad I couldn't even sleep a wink because I would have to get out of bed at least 16 times per night. It honestly feels like a cruel joke. I work out, I run, I eat well, I even stopped drinking, but no matter what I do, my body's just falling apart. But thanks to you, I am now peeing like a horse, satisfying my wife like a stud, and sleeping like a baby all through the night. Thanks, Sam." Well, thank you too, Jason, because of people like you, I feel confident enough to put this video out again and again. Hi, my name is Sam Morgan, and I am the most hated man in Big Pharma's board meetings. If you are over 45 and a man, then know this. The Big Pharma conglomerates now have a cash price on the head of each able-bodied man in America. And if you don't believe me, just think about this shocking fact I came across while researching what I could do for my poor brother. The global prostate treatment market is expected to reach $12 billion by 2025. For example, Provenge costs $93,000 for a course of treatment, while Zytiga costs about $5,000 a month. Sanofi's Gefna costs about $8,000 every 3 weeks. With other pricey drugs on the way, they could be talking easily tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands per patient or more over the course of therapy. So right now, each man who falls prey to this seemingly harmless urinary problem risks not only public humiliation, emasculation, physical discomfort, life-threatening kidney failure, but also bankruptcy. Unfortunately, the reason I went down the rabbit hole looking for answers was my brother. My strong brother who brought dangerous criminals in the hands of justice and who protected and served this country's justice system while we all slept like babies. My strong brother who could make any woman weak in the knees with lust even well after 45 was now just a shell of a man, humiliated every few hours as a young nurse would hold him down and insert a catheter in his manhood just so that he could eliminate the 10 drops of pee stuck in his bladder. It was gut-wrenching to see him like that. And that's why I don't want any other family in this country to go through what we did. My brother was sick and not conscious half of the time from all the toxins that were now spilling in his blood, causing him to hallucinate and pass out and into lucidity. The doctors wanted to know more details about what he was taking and for how long, but none of us knew what to tell him. My brother was nothing if not a very private guy, and if I hadn't gone looking through his stuff that very same day, I think he would have taken this secret to his grave. As soon as the doctor told me that they couldn't treat him until he knew if he was already on any other prostate inhibitors, I just got in my car and rushed to his home. The bathroom cabinets held nothing of interest, so I knew I had to dig more. Making my way through each room of the house, I swear to you, I was feeling so defeated and disappointed that I'd have to walk back into the waiting room empty-handed. But luckily, just as I was sitting in my car in his driveway, it hit me. The garage. I frantically went through each box and bag I could find, but still nothing was there. The more I moved around, the more I felt the faint smell of urine every time I passed by the trunk of his car. And when I popped it open, lo and behold, my brother's dirty little secret. In one of the bags, there was the underwear he had soiled, but probably hadn't had the chance to throw out yet. Another paper bag held 4 new pairs of underwear, which I assume were his emergency kit. And one last black bag held what I then found out to be the worst mistake he ever made. 2 half-taken boxes of Avodart and Proscar. You see, when you finally can't take the humiliation of trying and failing to hold in those few drops of pee when you are at the cinema or at a dinner party, you will end up going to a doctor who is on Big Pharma's payroll and who will prescribe whatever brings the best payout for them. After bringing it to the doctor and explaining what I had found, the doctor simply shrugged and said he'll need to consult with his peers and come up with something that may or may not save my brother. Before leaving the room, he also turned to say something that stuck in my brain like super glue. I would lower my expectations, Mr. Morgan. It's not looking very good. I called my brother's wife and told her to get to the hospital now and tell me what she knows from all of this. And friend, nothing could have prepared me for what she had to say. My poor brother's symptoms were something he had brushed off entirely until one Sunday morning. He woke up terrified by his wife's scream of disgust. He had peed himself through the night and didn't even feel it. That's when she forced him to go to the doctor. But as odd as it may sound, that was just the beginning of their problems. Because soon after getting his treatment from the doctors, the next day, He was basically a eunuch. He was constantly complaining that his gems were painful and inflamed, so much so that she was not allowed to even touch him because he'd get angry. She broke down crying, remembering that humiliation of begging for her husband to even see her as a woman again. He was just grumpy, never slept for more than 3 hours straight because he'd soon rush to the bathroom just for her to hear 3 weak dribbles hit the ball. Mark was in so much pain that he could barely sit on a chair without feeling the need to go again. But he always put on his brave face, and we could never tell what suffering and pain went behind the tough outer shell. I couldn't let this carelessness at the hands of the very industry we fork over thousands of dollars a year go completely unpunished. No matter what, I had to fight for Mark just as he fought for all of us. He was worth it. So I went into a frantic state of reading and researching. I just couldn't accept that this was supposed to be his life now. No way. My starting point was what he was taking: Avodart and Prostate. These two are called 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, or 5-ARIs, and help to shrink the gland and keep it from pressing on a man's plumbing. But 5-ARIs have a complex connection to total prostate failure. In some cases, not only did it trigger certain deadly diseases, but the ones that do get triggered are more aggressive than ever. But if you think that's so far-fetched, why would they give you something that worked when combined sales of the prostate drugs above grew from $5.5 billion in 2014 to $8.9 billion in 2018? They are pushing these pills on anyone who even steps foot in a urologist's office, because either way, you're profitable. And if your prostate problems worsen and you need more drugs, you double your worth to them. But one question kept popping into my mind. Why now? Why do we suddenly get sick just like clockwork after a certain age? Well, one study done by Harvard Medical School showed that testosterone is converted to dihydrotestosterone, DHT, at a much more accelerated rhythm after the age of 45. DHT is directly responsible for the development of benign prostatic hyperplasia, BPH, and it's also the reason you see so many balding men around you. But what I have to share with you today is actually something that will put an end to all of the issues men are told they have to get used to. Frequent bladder issue, impotence, balding. None of these have to be a young man's game. So if you ever thought to yourself that you should settle for this, trust me, this is the last thing you'd want to do. You instead would want to sit back, listen, and join the 17,856 men from all across the U.S. who took matters into their own hands and spat in the face of the industry who wanted to rob them of their dignity in what were supposed to be the best years of their lives. I am sure that right now you are not imagining spending your golden years on the toilet, forcing yourself to squeeze a few pathetic drops of pee just so that you can get as far as your driveway and have to go again. That's exactly what Robert J. from New Jersey did. He writes, I was beyond skeptical. Every bone in my body wanted me to exit out of your video at first. But boy, that would have easily been the worst decision I could have made. Something about your brother's tragedy wanted me to see more, especially since I couldn't even remember the last night I managed to sleep through the night without running to the toilet and pulling a Hulk moment every time my son or wife were in there when I had to go so urgently. I had so many doctors up the wazoo, I even felt like it was just part of my routine as a man over the age of 50. I tried, tested, and recommended your method to everyone I know. It never disappoints, and maybe best of all, it saved me from bankruptcy and imminent surgeries. Thank you. Well, I need to thank Robert as well, because the only reason I keep fighting those greedy bastards is people like him. Meanwhile, every single day I would go by the hospital. The doctors would tell me there was little they could do. His prostate would continue to balloon in size, which meant his kidneys would almost certainly fail. lead to a coma and even death, or in a best case scenario, he needs to spend the rest of his days hooked up to a dialysis machine just to survive. But luckily, unlike my brother, who was running on borrowed time, you don't have to do that. You can simply follow a tried and tested method risk-free that takes less than 60 seconds a day. I was determined not to drop this until I find a solution. I was ready for anything as long as I could be assured it would work. But the day I decided to take matters into my own hands is probably a historic one. I started with the basics, like asking what causes BPH in the first place. I quickly found out that while it seemed like a simple question, it wasn't. Your prostate problems are related to your DHT levels, which are very aggressive forms of testosterone which set off your androgen receptors. Take it like this. In the first phase, if too many of these androgen receptors are set off in your prostate, the prostate then grows in size, which leaves you with trouble starting and maintaining your flow, and even emptying your bladder fully. But in theory, if you were to stop those androgens from blowing up your prostate, you'll free yourself from your BPH and crippling bladder problems, right? Well, it's not that easy. And this brings us to phase 2. These androgens trigger is actually an inflammation which confuses your body into an inflammatory response, as one Stanford professor found a little over half a year ago. Well, this caught my interest, so I decided to dig a little deeper to see if I could find out more. And what I found had me jumping out of my chair in pure excitement. For example, in a study conducted on 284 patients suffering from BPH, researchers found that 77% of them suffered from inflammation of their prostate cells. While in another study, this one from the British Journal of Urology, which included over 1,000 BPH patients, scientists linked this prostate inflammation to BPH progression trouble urinating and trouble fully emptying your bladder. My heart started beating out of my chest as I continued poring through the research. Study after study that confirmed my theory. Now, as you probably know, inflammation is a defense mechanism that your body uses when you're hurt to help you heal. But sometimes inflammation gets triggered mistakenly. I've mentioned how DHT is an aggressive version of testosterone. But because your body is shocked by it and triggers inflammation to deal with the intruders. This in turn inflames the prostate, which weighs heavy on your bladder and gives you the nagging sensation that you have to pee immediately, even when nothing is there. Sleepless nights follow shortly after inflammation occurred, and your new evening ritual involves running between your bed and the bathroom only to dribble out a few worthless drops. Make sense so far? And now that I discovered what started prostate growth in the first place, the next step was figuring out how to stop it. I realized that if I could prevent the inflammation from happening, then I could finally give my brother some blessed relief from his swollen and enlarged prostate. The only problem, I had no idea where to start. So I put in a phone call to a colleague and friend of mine who I'd known for almost 20 years, Alan Monetti. I first met Alan in the early 2000s when he came to North America from the UK. He was a researcher who studied how different plants affect our bodies with a special focus on the immune system, and he was hands down one of the most interesting people I'd ever met. I figured he was the best candidate to bounce off some ideas with. And boy, was I right. I told him all about my brother, and I swear the whole thing just poured out of my mouth like word vomit. We both cried. After I told him about all the studies I found and all the hard, cold facts, I told him I am stuck. How can I stop this damn inflammation that is killing my brother? Alan stopped for a few seconds, and I thought he would shrug his shoulders just like the doctors did. But instead, he said I was right. He read all the studies, and he even had a proposal for one blend that could fix all of my brother's issues. I cried again, but this time for joy. We took a second mortgage on the house and sold one of the cars. And within a week, I already had a down payment for Alan to order off the ingredients for the first batch of supplements. At this point, I made the decision to take out my brother from that hellhole of a hospital and treat him myself. I know I must sound like a lunatic, but I couldn't risk him being poisoned by them. Worn down and weakened, my poor brother started religiously taking the blend immediately. After 7 days, I was worried that it would not work. I had learned how to put in a catheter for him to empty his bladder. But the results started miraculously showing up after the second week when Mark told me his bladder didn't hurt or feel like it was pressured. Slowly but surely, he started going to the bathroom once before bed and once more after a restful night of sleep. It was the first time he could sleep through the night. While in the hospital, he had lost so much weight and felt so worn down, he needed help to get in and out of bed. But here he was, on the third week, training again and doing push-ups in the hallway. Here's a short and to-the-point explanation of each of every one of the secret ingredients used and how they work. After lab testing, they have proven to be 100% effective only in this formula, especially calculated and adjusted to give the best possible results when it comes to shrinking and maintaining your prostate to that of a teenage boy. Step 1. The fast penetration stage. We source the ingredients from the purest locations and in the most effective forms, which means they're extremely bioavailable and easier for the body to absorb. Imagine the 34 specially selected ingredients entering your system and getting absorbed by the body almost immediately, eliminating the risk of urinary tract infections, excruciating bladder stones, and even kidney failure. This happens not just because our ingredients are extremely pure and bioavailable, but also because whenever our bodies detect that we give them something that is essential for our survival, they practically suck it up like a dry sponge. In almost a fraction of a second, they start to rapidly spread through your body like a swarm of technicians, ready to make sure everything is in normal parameters. Step 2. Massive DHT buildup flushing. So you have a 50 or 60 years worth of DHT buildup in your prostate. No problem. After testing more than 144 organic ingredients, we have chosen these top 3 ingredients. Saw palmetto berries, the sworn enemy of DHT according to a study conducted by the University of Michigan Health System. Graviola leaf and the unique Japanese mushroom trio, maitake, reishi, and shiitake, were proven to have incredible health properties by one study in the Journal of Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity. These ingredients will practically flush away the DHT with each steady stream each time you visit the bathroom. It's good to feel like you're 20 again. Step 3. Blood purification stage. During this phase, cat's claw and tomato fruit powder will begin to actually dissolve the billions of toxic bacteria that have been spilling over in your blood system for years. According to one paper in the Life Extension Foundation, Pygium africanum bark works wonders because it is a natural anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial agent, while cat's claw and tomato fruit powder act as a strainer, separating and burning the bacteria from your blood flow. This will make your blood more oxygenated, ready to be pumped up for the next important phase. Step 4. Sex Drive Activator. Here's where 2 superstar ingredients enter in action. Stinging needle root, an amazing manhood firming agent, and red raspberry extract, the natural teenage sex drive booster. What they'll do is micropenetrate your sex cells, rebuilding the damaged ones. Moreover, your manhood will be 3 times stronger than it was before you started experiencing the first signs of BPH. Step 5. Stream rejuvenation. The natural green tea and broccoli leaf extracts will target the health of your urine stream and prostate. The Journal of Synthetic Chemistry confirms that broccoli leaf extracts have extremely powerful and valuable nutrients, ones that are required for healing the prostate. When paired, these two ingredients will ensure that you will pee like a fountain and leave the toilet with an empty bladder each and every time. Step 6. Anti-DHT Defense Army. Meet the Anti-DHT Defense Trio: selenium, vitamin E, and vitamin B6. These three ingredients will make sure that no hidden prostate debilitation DHT will ramble through your body. They have been scientifically recognized to arrest on the spot any DHT or other dangerous bacteria they come across. Better protection means better health. Step 7. Anti-DHT Manhood Activator. Zinc, copper, and plant sterol complex join their forces to shield your prostate and bladder from the constant attack of DHT that you're always in danger of building up if you are not on the 8-step defense program. Zinc and copper are absolutely essential to your prostate's health. In fact, studies show that a low level of zinc in the prostate tissue is linked to higher chances of prostate total shutdown. But even getting that much daily zinc would mean you have a seafood-rich platter for dinner every single night for the rest of your life. And most likely, if you're not a rich penguin, you'll neither enjoy nor afford that. So that's why supplementing is the key. Step 8. Double up the anti-DHT defense. Our unique 15 herbs third-party tested proprietary blend will activate and boost your body's natural hormonal balance while increasing the body's natural ability to fight off bacteria and extra DHT that cause damage to your body. At first, I can admit we were scared to share this with the general public, especially because we soon found out that Big Pharma's rage spreads far and wide and that their lawyers are like rabid dogs when it comes to protecting their master's bank accounts. But I never want another soul to suffer as Mark did. I never want another father and husband to be humiliated and reduced to a pathetic excuse of a man. After all of this nightmare ended, we could have just counted our blessings and went back to our lives. But I, Mark, and Alan felt like this was too important and too urgent. How could we soundly sleep at night knowing that another man turns on the faucet to hide the sound of that painful and weak stream? All three of us then decided to invest everything we could in this wonderful 8-step program. And we call it Vital Flow, to help you easily navigate a BPH-free life and avoid being just another statistic. Now, I imagine you're probably wondering how you can get your hands on Vital Flow for yourself, along with how often you need to take it for best results. To be honest, it's actually still very difficult for the general public to get Vital Flow. The reason being is that this proprietary blend needed for the final phase is made in a state-of-the-art facility using the rare ingredients I've shared with you today. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. While you can try buying each individual ingredient on its own, it's likely that they won't make a fraction of the positive impact that this scientifically proven all-in-one formula will, which is one of the reasons why we're always running out. Additionally, because Vital Flow helps your body fight the flood of DHT inflammation at such an astonishingly fast rate, pretty much everyone who uses it keeps on asking for more of the stuff because they never again want to suffer from the physical and emotional torture of an enlarged prostate. As word continues to spread, it's only a matter of time until Vital Flow becomes extremely popular in Europe. And I have already received calls about preparing bulk purchases of 100 bottles or more, which is putting even more of a strain on production for red-blooded Americans suffering over here, especially since it takes up to 3 weeks to custom create each batch. I frequently don't have any vital flow available for folks, but that being said, I also don't want anyone to suffer from the painful, humiliating, and exhausting symptoms of an enlarged prostate, which is why in the next few minutes, I'll share how you can get your hands on a brand new bottle of Vital Flow. Remember, your urge to go all the time, inability to empty your bladder, and sleepless nights are actually not the worst case scenario. So even after Vital Flow has given you back a full night's sleep, a strong, easy flow, and the confidence you haven't seen in months, you'll need to continue teaching your body to flush out the DHT. That's why we recommend you choose at least 3 bottles of Vital Flow. Although looking at the order history, most people choose the 6 bottles for a light bladder and normal prostate. Right now across America, men are suffering from stop and start streams, dribbling weaker ejaculation, sleepless nights, and a constant anxiety about finding the nearest bathroom, whose conditions range from mild to extremely severe, are all discovering this website from family, friends, and a small handful of health experts who are willing to take a stand against Big Pharma. Just like Kenneth L., who says, I always believed that prostate issues are something only 90-year-old men suffer from. But within 6 months since I turned 52, I was making 15 to 20 trips to the bathroom each day, always making sure I went to the bathroom before I drove anywhere or did anything. Always feeling like I still needed to go even though I just went. I'm 24 days into taking this formula and I'm down to just 5 to 7 times a day. I'm able to easily sleep through the night. I'm so happy. And people like Jonathan P., who writes, I used to schedule my day around a bathroom, and I had to avoid caffeine, spicy foods, and the tiny bit of alcohol I drank because it would only make things worse. Now I can enjoy all those things again. I take this formula daily and foresee myself taking it daily for quite a while. The real-life testimonials you heard are just a few of the hundreds that I'm receiving each month about Vital Flow. And you should know that Vital Flow is only available on this website while there are supplies in stock, and I'm able to stay in business. The truth is, I'm facing over a dozen potential injunctions from pharmaceutical lawyers who hate what I'm doing and who are furious that there is a natural and effective solution for BPH, one that's actually good for your body. I'm fighting a war every day not to let Big Pharma win, but I don't want you to wait on taking action and reclaiming your life with Vital Flow. Vital Flow is your only real chance to soothe and relieve the inflammatory effects of your DHT buildup, and it's something that can protect your body for decades to come so that you lower your risk of an enlarged prostate significantly and no longer need to use expensive and side effect-filled treatments that only provide temporary relief from your symptoms but don't teach your body to deal with it. Think about how good it will feel to no longer be embarrassed by constantly having to go to the bathroom, to wake up feeling energized, to go about your day knowing you can confidently visit the toilet only when needed and not 20 times a day like you are right now, to finally feel like yourself again. All it takes is 2 powerful prostate protecting capsules per day for you to live a life free from the crippling symptoms of an enlarged prostate for years to come. What would that be worth to you? Would it be worth $147? Because that's what it would cost you to buy each individual ingredient on its own. And by choosing Vital Flow, you could spare yourself from expensive synthetic oral medications that are riddled with side effects that at best make you sleepy or dizzy, but at worst could endanger your life. And why would you want to spend hundreds of dollars on dangerous surgery that could scar your internal organs or leave your libido devastated? That or ending up having to shove tubes up the shaft of your penis every time you need to pee for the rest of your life. By choosing anything other than Vital Flow, you're only dealing with the symptoms and not even slightly fixing the problem. Of course, you could restrict your diet like crazy, turn into one of those self-hating cultish people who can never again eat anything they want to, spending all your money in Whole Foods for overpriced organic ingredients that you dread eating for every meal, only to get no relief. In fact, these so-called solutions all but guarantee your enlarged prostate will come back stronger in a few months' time. Plus, they won't stop the DHT buildup. Now, considering your options, $147 should seem like a steal to you, which honestly, I think is extremely fair. It's less than what you'd pay for doctor visits, constant blood tests, and fancy exotic groceries that you don't even like eating. Yet, unlike those other options, Vital Flow is a proven solution that supports your fight against inflammation. Plus, considering that it takes our manufacturing facility 3 whole months to source and produce just a single batch of Vital Flow, and that each capsule contains the purest and most bioavailable forms of these prostate-protecting powder foods in existence, $147 really is a bargain. But despite all of that, this isn't about making a profit for me. This is about fulfilling a promise I made to myself and my brother when this journey started. I know what it's like to see the folks you love grow old in front of your eyes. The pain you feel inside because it seems like there's nothing that can be done. That aging is just a fact of life that we are forced to just roll over and accept. But I almost lost my brother, and I don't want to lose you too. That's why I'm offering my prostate restoring solution to the public for the first time through a special Steal Prostate campaign, and why, if you act right now and make the life-changing decision to join the more than 1,764 men before you, you can get your hands on Vital Flow for just $69 per bottle. And actually, that's just the start, because after seeing my brother nearly lose his life over his prostate, it gave me the reality check that no matter how good your family's genes are, no matter how healthy and active and worry-free you may be, no man is safe and anyone can fall victim to an enlarged prostate. So you'd be right to worry about the health of your fathers, brothers, uncles, and sons right now. The good news is you can put those worries to rest and protect your loved ones right out of the gate. With a discounted package plan that's only available today, where you can get 6 bottles of Vital Flow for only $49 per bottle or $1.63 per day. This special discounted package is only being offered to you today through this website as part of my awareness campaign, and only while supplies last. Plus, you'll also get free shipping today, which is a $9.99 value. But again, both the special multi-bottle discount and the free shipping are limited. This means that when I run out of bottles of Vital Flow again, it'll take up to 3 months before another batch is available. So click the 6-bottle package or any other package you choose below this video right now to secure your order. This is truly one of the most important investments that you'll ever make in your health and well-being. Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking that this all sounds really exciting, and you're asking, how do I get started? Just click the 6-bottle package or any package you choose below this video right now to start your order. You'll then go to the secure checkout page where you'll enter your order details, and within just 5 business days from now, you'll receive Vital Flow right to your front door in discreet packaging, so no one will have any idea what's in the package. So go ahead and select your package of Vital Flow while there are still bottles in stock. This should be an absolute no-brainer because you're also covered by my 60-day, 100% money-back guarantee. In just a few weeks, you'll notice yourself needing to pee less often. You'll feel your stream go stronger, no more stopping and starting or embarrassing dribbling in your briefs after you're done. You'll feel relaxed and grow confident, as you don't have the need to constantly play bathroom detective or be ashamed of anyone noticing how much you're going. Just like the former BPH sufferers before you who have used Vital Flow, and if for any reason you're not happy with your results using Vital Flow, simply email my USA-based customer service team 24/7, and we will give you a prompt and immediate refund with 0 questions asked. If that seems fair to you and you're ready to begin eliminating your problems, then select the 6-bottle package or any package you choose below this video right now to start your order. The sad truth is that most people wait too long to act. And this presentation is now ending, and the ultimate decision is yours. One of your choices is to stop watching this video and go about your day. That's your right, of course, but I want to ask you a question. What's going to change if you make that choice? How are you going to feel in a month, 6 months, or a year from now if you don't take action today? If you do nothing and keep struggling to sleep through the night, what will your boss think if your work suffers? Because you're too exhausted from your sleepless nights to focus on your job because you're constantly missing from your post. All because you're spending half of your day trying desperately to squeeze out a few drops instead of doing your work. What about your poor suffering wife, woken up in the middle of the night every single time you get up to run to the toilet? Your self-esteem is crushed because your manhood doesn't work as well anymore, and she can't help but think that it's because you're not attracted to her anymore. Heck, forget everyone else. How will this constant lack of sleep, bladder anxiety, and inability to just forget about the bathroom for more than 5 minutes affect your sanity? How are you going to be able to enjoy your life and everything you've worked so hard for up until now if all you can ever think about is where the nearest toilet is? Now, I'm not just saying this to get morbid or to scare you. I'm truly not. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to be a victim here. I'm telling you this because I want you to make the right choice by taking back control of your health and clicking one of the buttons you see below this video. Right now, you can get Vital Flow for just $69 per bottle, and for even less than that if you get my popular 3 and 6-bottle packages. It's your decision, but this is your last chance. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless. Sincerely, Sam Morgan. Still here? No problem. I know we just covered a lot. To help you out, let me go ahead and answer some of the most common questions you might have. 1. How does Vital Flow work again? So as I mentioned earlier, my major breakthrough was realizing that the real cause behind the BPH epidemic that's scoring the USA at the moment is something called DHT-triggered inflammation. It's caused by the body mistakenly attacking your new testosterone form, DHT, and causing inflammation of the prostate, causing it to swell and grow, squeezing the bladder and your urethra, leaving you to feel like you always need to go, but stopping you from ever being able to go properly. Not to mention, waking you up over and over again in the middle of the night, desperate to go just to barely squeeze out a dribble before giving up and returning to bed defeated. 2. This sounds incredible, but I'm not sure how many bottles to order. How long does it take to see results? The size of your prostate gland and the severity of your BPH will vary from person to person. Some people may just have a mild case, while others have a situation that's been building up for years. So it's really hard to say for sure exactly how long you'll need to experience results. What I can tell you, however, is that a single bottle of Vital Flow will give you the confidence that you are on the path to waving goodbye to your prostate nightmare. 3 bottles will do the same thing while ensuring you protect your body from the effects of inflammation as you heal. And 6 bottles of Vital Flow will give you an entire 6 months of protection, defending your prostate from the ravages of an immunoinflammation, freeing you from the prison of a bladder you can't trust so you can wave goodbye to the bone-crushing exhaustion of sleepless nights spent running from your bed to the bathroom only to desperately dribble out a few pitiful drops, as well as the constant emasculating anxiety of always frantically looking for the nearest bathroom, letting you walk tall wherever you go, feeling like the healthy, virile, masculine man you used to be once more. 3. Who is Vital Flow for? Vital Flow is for anyone who suffers from BPH or an enlarged prostate. It's for you if you're finding yourself needing to urinate more and more often, if you can't empty your bladder properly when you go, or spending your days anxiously looking for the nearest restroom and hoping no one notices how often you're going in. And if these issues have made you feel embarrassed, ashamed, or stressed, or worse, if you don't recognize yourself anymore at any point throughout your life, I'm confident that with Vital Flow, you'll finally experience the much needed and well-deserved relief you've been looking for. And of course, if you're not satisfied for any reason whatsoever, you're protected by my ironclad 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. So when you think about it, you really have nothing to lose when you invest in Vital Flow today. 4. This sounds incredible, but I'm afraid it won't work for me. Can you remind me of your guarantee? Absolutely. Vital Flow comes with a 60-day 100% money-back guarantee. That means you order Vital Flow today, you then have a full 2 months to decide if it's right for you. But if you're not thrilled with your progress for any reason, simply email my customer service team and we'll refund your investment with 0 questions asked. 5. How long will Vital Flow be available? That's hard to say. My hope is that Vital Flow will make the effects of DHT-triggered inflammation a distant memory. But because Big Pharma is furious about this breakthrough, it's uncertain if I'll be able to fight them off forever. That's why it's important for you to get Vital Flow today, especially since it comes with a 60-day 100% money-back guarantee, which means there are 0 risks to you. 6. All right, I really want Vital Flow. What should I do now? This part is simple. Just click on one of the buttons below and choose your package. Then complete your order and Vital Flow will be in your hands in just 5 business days from now. Plus, there are no risks because of my ironclad 60-day guarantee. This presentation is now ending, and I want to thank you for sticking with me all the way until the end. Go ahead and choose your package now. Take Vital Flow as directed for at least 30 days, and I cannot wait to hear about your success story. Thank you for watching, and God bless. Sam Morgan.